accept this, are we? That this sort of weird, bejewelled, mad fellow with a pair of clown's gloves as a necklace on goes, the honourable house. Like, none of us think of politicians as honourable. We know some of them are paedophiles. We know they all fiddle their expenses. We know they're all on the take. It don't matter what kind of toy town mayor you get in there with a big daft stick to tell you they're honourable. It just doesn't wash. And what possible provenance can there be for this madness?
My Lords and members of the House of Commons, my government will legislate in the interests of everyone in our country.
What about poor people? I do sometimes want to go to the Queen. What is the thing that you've got in your head that makes it all right for this to happen? Because it must be that you think that poor people are scum. Is it that? Because otherwise, how do you justify that mad, expensive hat? I'm afraid there is no money available for nothing. What's that thing on your head? The thing on your head made out of precious diamonds. I couldn't possibly do this job without my shiny, fucking expensive hat.
Helping working people get on, supporting aspiration, giving new opportunities to the most disadvantaged.
I mean, the fucking nerve. You could just take your hat off and go like that and build an hospital. I mean, that necklace, that's worth a couple of schools. I mean, like, people say that there's a value in having a monarchy. We've established that there isn't from a tourism perspective. From a spiritual perspective, all right, perhaps the idea of some focus of nationhood would be useful, but what does that nation stand for? It's a nation that stands for inequality, deception, and lying. So that's what our monarch is. Whether or not David Icke's right about them being reptiles and lizards, who cares? What they are, visibly, is a symbol of inequality and privilege and antiquity, values that have no place in the modern world.
My government will continue with its long-term plan to provide economic stability and security at every stage of life.
Every stage? Well, that means it's constantly going to happen. Born, there's some security there. Childhood, some security there. Getting old, some security there. There's none, is there? We all know that this is a total farce. People like the Queen, like my grandparents, God rest their souls, if they heard me talking about the Queen like this, they'd be, oh no, Russell, no, she's lovely, the Queen. Like, and I've had that crap put in me. We can't help it. Every time we look at a pound note or a bloody stamp, there she is. You know, but the fact is that this is a great big gold smothered lot of bollocks. Look at the reality. The bank bailout cost the UK public, that's you, $850 billion. The UK has lost £850 billion to tax evasion since the crash. So you see, instead of taking 850 billion quid off of you, they could have took 850 billion quid off of people that are evading tax. They're not going to do that. She doesn't mention it. It's not an issue. It's not relevant to them. What the function of this pageantry, this bejewelled madness is to sustain and preserve itself and to maintain the dominant order, which requires you to be poor and ignorant. So that is what you will remain. This was very reasonably priced.